Hi. Hi, friend.
Hi. This is Cyndi. And I'm Ivette.
Yes. And we're the authors
of Don't Be This Girl.
Yeah.
We like to laugh.
We do. Oh, my goodness. So we're excited. Again, we love all of these different podcast content materials that we're coming up with and subject matter because we really feel like it's important.
It's very important.
It's necessary.
It's definitely necessary,
Right?
Because there are a lot of different thoughts out there and a lot of different things that we see that influence us as women, as young women, especially. Yeah. So we definitely want to share some of our insights with you on some of those things.
Yeah. And if you haven't yet got purchased our book, just head on over to Amazon. Don't Be This Girl. And I'm just hearing from different women how they're just so appreciative of the rawness.
Yeah.
Of our willingness to be raw, to be real, and just to really share. Because what we do is we share the stuff that we went through when we were younger, in those days when we didn't really have a whole lot of people speaking into us and just really kind of guiding us. And like, why are you allowing that guy to do that? Why are you being treated? Why is it okay for you to be pushed in the corner in the closet while he's over here with his friends?
Right. Don't put baby in the corner.
Don't put baby don't belong in the corner. Neither of us belong in the corner. And yet, but we would find ourselves there sometimes, right?
In a dark corner. Sometimes I can think back of some of the times where I literally sat in a dark corner just thinking, what is happening? How have I allowed this to happen in my life?
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because you're such a vivacious, like, just woman of life and joy. And so just to think of you like put in a corner and shoved somewhere, like to get out of the spotlight, is just not even who you are.
Yeah. It was definitely a different time.
Yes.
A different persona.
Sure.
So to speak, and somebody that I really hid from everybody because that's embarrassing.
Wow.
You don't want to share those things
when
you're going through those things. And so that's another reason why we like to put this podcast together for you guys. And the reason we wrote this book, and we're so raw and so transparent about the things that happen in our life, because we hope that it helps and guides you guys to not go through those same mistakes.
Please,
as we did.
Don't go there. Don't be this girl.
Don't be this girl. That is it. That is what we're talking about today.
Yes. And so I know today we have a really fun hot topic where we were just really talking about the influence of friends in our lives when we are dating, even when we're married.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. You know, it's funny because we're talking about girlfriends today, but one of the things that kind of really struck me was when I was getting married and I had to pick my maid or matron of honor.
Yeah.
Was who did I want that person to be?
Yes.
And I always stress to young people that it should be somebody that you trust with your life, with your relationship, that is going to speak wisdom to you and not be like, oh yeah, girl, let that guy go. Oh no, let's go have some drinks over here and let's go do this. And you know, let's get him back for whatever he's making you feel.
Oh yeah.
You don't want that. You want somebody who is going to speak love and life and wisdom into your life, and kind of, you know, bring you back off that ledge, because sometimes we go there. I mean, I know I go there. And I am so thankful for my matron of honor and best friend who has always, every time I call her ranting and raving about something, she's like, well, you know, and brings me back. So, you know, knowing the girlfriends that you want in your life, and those important, you know, times in your life where you have to make a decision about who you're going to have in your life.
That's so good. Really, there's such a power of friendships, or in friendships, really, that I think we underestimate. But really, and you know this, is like friendships can be very influential. Yes, for the good, but also for the bad. You know, so you better watch the friends that you have directly around you and making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are safe, people that are for you. That's the thing, because you can have friends that are not for you and they have their own hidden agenda.
That's right.
And it's all about them, and they're even sabotaging things.
Ooh.
Right?
Yes. You're taking me into the book right now. You're taking me into the book about some of those stories in our lives where I know I had a friend like that.
Yeah.
And she was my best friend.
Yeah.
So I thought.
So you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I had one of those, but it was more high school. And later on, and I just did everything with her. And later on, she came to tell me, oh, remember when somebody did this and stole this from you and that? And it was her and another girl. And she told me a couple of years, and I was so devastated.
Wow.
You know, and so here you're thinking this person is your friend, and really it's the exact opposite. It's the epitome of that. And of course I forgave her, and we managed to still, you know, have conversation, but you have to know who your friends are, and really just be sure that they are people who really are for you. Like they want the very best for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because girlfriends, all of us have girlfriends.
Yes.
But sometimes, you know, there's the girlfriends that we like to hang out with for certain things.
Yeah.
So being really careful about that too, because, you know, some of those girlfriends could speak some not so good things
and take you to some dark places
and put you in situations that you don't need to be in, that they're going to cause more drama in your life. So, but we were going to talk about today, Something New.
Yeah. That's a fun movie.
That is such a great movie. And the girlfriends in that movie, I mean, we were just like, yes, sister. Yes. I mean, we were getting down with them.
Yeah.
And then and then they had, you know, some certain things to say, which were funny. And we love that the movie brings in that humor, you know. But when it comes to real life, it's like, oh no, sister, like, what were you thinking? I don't need you to tell me that. Like, I need you to lift me up and know what it is that I want in my life. Yes. Right? Like, we know each other enough to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, or maybe you shouldn't be hanging out with that person. Yes. You know, maybe we got to put up some boundaries here. You have to be that girlfriend that knows the other person.
That's right.
Enough to be a good girlfriend. Yeah.
So do we want to take a look at the clip real quick?
Oh yeah, let's take let's take a look at this. I mean, this clip
let's dive into the girlfriends.
Fun.
Something New. These are Kenya's girlfriends, and she is one of our beloved characters in our book, Don't Be This Girl. For many reasons, we selected her just as her character on screen. She's gorgeous and just sharp as all get out. But there are so many reasons why we shouldn't want to be Kenya.
Right.
But we
saw a lot of ourselves in Kenya.
Yes, we did. And in her girlfriend. The list. Yes.
This one had a list, let me tell you.
Girl, I'm trying to scratch it.
Where's the whiteout? We're looking for the whiteout so we can scratch some things off on Cindy's list. But
it went down from like 30 to 20, or now it's a little bit, you know, so we're working on it. I don't really need that. And I saw a lot of similarities with me and Kenya.
Yes, but this is a fun scene here on Something New. Let's check it out.
All right. Let's check it out. Let's break it down.
That is why we are the 42.4%. What? 42.4% of Black women have never been married.
I read that article. It didn't say we'd never get married. It just said we have yet to.
Okay, so when is it going to happen, in the afterlife?
Well, even if 42.4% of us never get married, that still means 57.6% of us will, and that's a substantially greater percentage.
Thank you. This number's clean. It's very impressive. However, those odds are completely against us. It says the phenomenon is most acute among African American women who are educated professionals. Judge, accountant, banker, pediatrician, that'd be us.
I'm just tired of being classified as a victim. Single Black professional woman destined to be unhappy and alone. I mean, I just have to keep believing I'll find the one. True. I don't even need all that. I just want a good brother.
That's right.
He doesn't have to make a lot of money so long as he's got a job.
Yes.
As long as he has a job.
And not crazy. No kids. Good kids. And no kinky sex. I mean, I like to switch it up a bit, but you know. What?
The list, Kenya, the list. You know what? You should have stayed with Rashid Mahmoud.
I couldn't do the Muslim chauvinist thing.
Whatever, girl. Rashid, okay, I would have been a bean pie mosque going.
And all the while, none of them should have been with him, right?
Wearing a burqa. Listen, I've been listening to this new CD by Dr. LaWanda Phillips. Now, she says if we keep hanging on to this preconceived notion of what we think we want, we're actually cutting ourselves off from our universal abundance. See, we hold on so tight to this image that we have of our IBM.
That's true.
Ideal black man. But she says that we've got to let go in order to let love flow. In fact, that's what it's called. Let go, let flow. That means you can no more lists.
Let go. Let flow.
That's right. And it's a whole lot better than keep hope alive. That's right. Okay, y'all.
Let universe is listening. Let flow.
Perfect, my love.
Yeah. So as long as
I love it. I love it. Now,
So-
I mean, it looks like a nice set of women, very educated
Right.
women.
Professional women.
Yeah.
Yeah, like such as ourselves.
Right.
Yes. Now.
Doctor, but still educated women.
Sure.
And what I like about that too is they're actually looking into these,
The statistics and doing the research, doing the
and they're looking at it and they're talking about it.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yes. I mean, the one gal is like, oh, I would have stayed. You should have stayed with so-and-so. And you should. How many times have we heard you should have?
Come on. Yep.
Now, if that person telling you should have, but they haven't. Okay. Like, let's think about that.
Yes.
Like, why am I taking advice from somebody who has a horrible love life
or
doesn't have a love life at all?
Yeah.
I mean, and these are things that we have to question a little bit before we start listening to those people who we think are our girlfriends and have, our best in mind if they don't even know what's best for themselves.
That's right. Yeah. And it's a little bit of a tricky situation because here I am not in a relationship, but it's because I'm choosing not to be.
Right.
Having been in so many wrong relationships, I'm like, no, I'm just going to wait for the right one because I'm done wasting my time. So I'm not sitting here saying to other people, well, you should have stayed with him and knowing full well that no, they should not have. Even for me, I still feel like people ask me, have you ever met the one? I'm like, no. I have never, any guy I ever dated was not ever the one. And so for any of my girlfriends to tell me, well, you should have stayed with him or, oh no.
No, because that guy wasn't the guy. And you know it in your heart.
In my heart.
You know it in your soul.
That's right.
That wasn't the guy.
That's right.
Yeah. And nobody should be telling you who the person is for you.
Yes.
That is something that only you and that other person would know.
Now, what's interesting about that scene is that's played by, tell me her name again. I always want to say Tahari, but I know that's not her name.
No, it's not her. I can't remember the other gal's name.
Okay, but here the funny thing is she's saying, well, then I would have, so you should have, but because you didn't, I would have been and she was saying why she should have been in that relationship.
Right.
So to me, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Does that seem a little strange to you?
Isn't there a rule about that?
I mean, when I watched it, I was just like, huh. Like, she's saying what she should have done, but then she steps right in and is
with her girlfriend's ex-boyfriend.
Right. And saying, because I would have. And I'm like, oh, no. No.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever told a girlfriend of mine, like, oh, yeah. And if you wouldn't have, then I would have.
No, right? I don't think so because the rule comes back where you don't. And this isn't a real rule, probably. I don't know. Maybe it is. But, you've probably heard it before where you don't want to date someone that your girlfriend dated.
Yes.
And it didn't work out.
Right. Yes. It's an understood. Now, I get it. There are some times where maybe in real life it does unfold. But I feel like in those situations, that person has said, hey, are you okay with this?
Right.
And there's, where you're saying, I know that you all dated some time ago, but there's something here. Are you okay with that? I think that's good.
I mean, even out of sheer respect.
Yes.
I remember having a friend, a bunch of girls would go and meet a bunch of guys. We'd go on vacation and we all hang out and have a good time. And I met this guy and I was like, oh, like we get along great. This is wonderful. But I knew she was really good friends with him. And I didn't know if anything had gone further.
Yes.
So I just went up to her and just asked her because I was really interested in this guy.
Okay.
So I went up to her and I just said, hey, are you guys, is there anything here? And she's like, oh no, he's like my brother. And I'm like,
love it.
Great. Because I would like to pursue this. Thank you very much. Bye.
Not like a brother.
And
Yeah.
and I did, but out of respect for her, and what I didn't know, so that it could have been a girl that was dating somebody and you knew about.
Sure.
And for sure, then out of respect, you should say something. But I don't know. There's always those little red flags in those relationships that we should look at too.
I love that, and we talk about red flags in that that opposite romantic type of scenario, but I think there are red flags that you should also look out for in friendships.
Oh yeah.
Right.
100%.
And we don't really talk about the red flags because obviously, it's more a romance, but because it was based on romantic comedies. But I still think there's something to be said about where are those red flags and those girlfriends, those friends of yours who are giving you terrible advice or just always very
those
toxic
that are creeping up behind you, behind a relationship, oh, let me pick up after your, whatever.
Take your sloppy seconds.
Yes. Let's not do that.
Let's not.
That's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Do not pick up after somebody's sloppy second.
Yeah. So how do we go about I don't want to use the word securing, but what's a good way that you think to say, that's a good friend. I think I would love to have that friend in my circle, like just to ensure that you're surrounded with primarily safe girlfriends.
Well, I mean, for me, being a little bit more grown up, a little bit more mature, and having gone through some of those really bad girlfriend relationships, I would say, finding that person that is like-minded with you, right? I mean, just like in a relationship, you want to be equally yoked with this person. You want to know that they like the same things you do, believe the same things you do, all of that.
Good.
I kind of look at it that way. Do we get along? Do we like the same things? And you can tell that pretty quickly in a relationship or in a friendship. If somebody, you're talking to somebody and then they say something that's completely out in left field and you're like, oh yeah, I don't really believe in that.
Yeah.
And so
and we don't all have to have the same belief system.
No, I just mean just about anything in general. I mean, some people, I remember back in the day, this same group of girls, we would go out to Vegas to meet this other group of guys from Chicago. And on the way there,
that's a thing.
It was a thing. It was a big thing. And it was all planned out. One of the girls was a planner. And so she even went as far as to print out our horoscopes. For us.
Wow.
So everybody had a horoscope to read on the way there. And I was just kind of like, okay. And I was down with it because I've
never believed in that.
Right. But I was okay with it. I didn't know any better. I was, I would read my horoscope or whatever, but I mean, this was insane. This was like, this is how your weekend's going to go. And it was all planned out. And I was just like, And that was one of the red flags for me in that relationship, in that friendship, where I had to start to pull back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I don't remember if I wrote about that in our book, maybe the next one. But
part 2. I do feel like people are, is there going to be another one? I'm like, maybe.
Because she did a couple really shady things with that same guy.
Oh, wow.
Years later.
Interesting.
And was trying to pick up on my sloppy seconds.
Wow.
Which was
and
really hurtful.
Had she talked with you, like done the respectful thing to say
that her tarot card said she should be with him? And I was like, oh, okay. Well, you go for that. You go ahead and do that.
Interesting.
And I let it go because at that point I was just lost for words. And I was just like, if that's what you believe, sister, you go do you, and I'm out.
Wow.
I'm out.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you did. And here's the interesting thing to me, and we might be blowing some belief systems out of the water even right now, but the thing with horoscopes, for example, you're saying that because you're a Gemini, born in between a certain part of May and a certain part of June, then all of these things are going to happen to you and every other Gemini on the face of the world. Like we all have the same exact thing. No.
On the same week.
No, it doesn't happen like that. It can happen to you no matter what month you're born in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I've always just been like, how is it that people are just believing everything that is being told to them on a horoscope?
But it's a thing.
But think about how, I don't want to say ridiculous. It's not the word I'm looking for. It doesn't make any sense, because then you're saying every person born between May 15th, for example, I don't know what the Gemini month is. I am a Gemini by being born in June 16th. But I can tell you that there are several other people born in June.
That would mean that you and my son Elijah are exactly the same. And
Thank you.
Things are going to happen to you guys.
Thank you. That's so stupid. It's so dumb when, you know, just to see people putting all of their faith in that. I know when I was younger and I was all into 17 magazine and all, I would look at it and I would just go, huh, that's so funny. You know, even then I just thought, you're telling all of the people born in June that this is going to happen to them. And I was like in junior high school. So now I just, you know, your horse. I'm so sorry for those of you that are, but I'm just saying, let's be real.
Yeah.
Something that's, you know, if you're born in September and that person's born, the same exact thing is not going to happen to the both of you because you're born in September. No, makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tear that false,
yeah,
you know, down.
Belief. Yeah. And, you know, and like I said, it is a thing. It is a thing that a lot of people do. I got caught up in that. And, you know, well, we're going way far off of the
girl. It's okay. It's our podcast.
This is why we're girlfriends, because we like to talk these things out.
Yeah, we do.
You know, that's another thing that we need to look at too in girlfriends. It's like, can you have a good conversation with your girlfriend and not get upset?
Yeah.
And not, you know, get hurt about, you know, maybe a different belief or a different thing that you've got going on. Because why? Because it's a conversation.
That's right. Can we have honest conversations?
Yes.
Can we all, as adults and young people and kids, have honest conversations?
Yeah,
without me pushing my whole belief system on you. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Absolutely.
Wow, it's possible.
It is possible.
Ooh, who would have known?
Who knew? This is how we're supposed to. This is how we do it. Anyway, this is how we're supposed to do it.
Yes.
We're supposed to have open, honest, transparent conversations where we're learning more, you know, because, you know, like you're saying in high school for you, you're just kind of like, whatever. For high school and me, you know, with me, it was like, that was the thing. Where's my Cosmo? Let me, you know, let me read it. Let me find out what's happening. And we just kind of grew up that way. I think it was just a thing, you know, until it wasn't.
You got older.
Yeah, until it wasn't. And then I just thought, no, you know, that's just changing. But anyway. So girlfriends.
Yeah. No, it's important. And because they are so influential, it is important to know like who is going to be in your inner circle.
Yeah. Who's going to speak to you in your life about the things the way that you want them.
Yeah.
Because we want people that can speak to us about what we want, not maybe necessarily what they want for us.
Yep.
Because that can be a little sticky too.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
So,
just don't tell me everything I want to hear. Tell me what I need to hear.
Listen, if I have something in my teeth, okay, or if my hair is wrong, we are so good. Listen.
Yeah.
Let's get a mirror before we go live.
Yes.
You know, like,
yes.
We're mirrors for each other.
That's right. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Your friends, your girlfriend should be people that are wonderful mirrors for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not afraid to tell you the truth.
In love.
In love. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we definitely don't want to be those people that are, you know, talking bad about somebody to hurt somebody. And that's what we're talking about, having those good girlfriends versus those crazy girlfriends versus those toxic girlfriends.
Yes.
Because we could have a lot of that even mixed in with some of our girlfriends, right? Because I know I have a lot of different, I don't know if sections is the right word, but you know, there's a lot of groupings,
genres,
like little groups of people, right? That I hang out with in this area here, and then I hang out with in this area there, because I know that somebody might, you know, have, just get stepped on a little bit,
Gotcha.
get hurt a little bit.
Sure.
But when it comes to my girlfriends, those that I trust, those that I want to speak into my life,
yes,
those are all the same.
Those
are all the same. And there's few.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot. I could totally admit to not being a girlfriend kind of gal.
And you, even in the book, you talked about that.
I did not like women, mostly because of the things that had happened to me.
The cattiness, mean girls.
I always hung out with guys. Guys were my go-to because they weren't going to tell me anything.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be there with you.
Yeah. For their own reasons.
Yeah. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yes. For their own reasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's just hard. We have to definitely make sure that we have the right women for the right reasons in our lives speaking to us.
Yeah. And I think we talked about friendships even when we addressed the 4 in Sex and the City. And I think that's one of the reasons why that show actually was so popular. Even though sex was in the word, I don't believe it was the sex, even though we know that society and marketing would say sex sells. I believe really that it was because of the friendships.
Yeah.
Because they really did have each other's back. They really were a good example of we all do something different. We're all in different fields. We all have our own beliefs. And so sometimes there was a lot of like, oh no, I don't feel that way, or I don't agree with that.
Because like Charlotte, thinking certain things about Samantha, because Samantha was the Sex in the City.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet you would just see them work it out. You saw them work out their friendship. They were for each other. They weren't gossiping. And that really is a girl not to be. We haven't talked about that, but and don't be this girl. Well, gossiping, who wants to be a gossiper, and who wants to be the girl that's always causing friction and sowing seeds of discord and disunity?
Yeah.
Don't be that girl.
Right.
We don't want to be that girl, And so I think there could be a whole part 2.
There's always a part 2 when it comes to us.
There really is. But I know for me that season where I was just so enthralled with that show, for me, it was the friendships and of course the fashion. I loved the fashion. And then what's the word that I would use? The unhealthy part of me was addicted to the Carrie Big relationship, which now years later, I'm thinking, what was I thinking? That was such a horrible thing for me to be rooting for. There was nothing healthy about that. The cheating, the adultery, poor Natasha. I mean, awful.
Yeah.
But the reason I do believe that was probably one of the reasons I think the show lasted and just kept pulling people in was that kind of like the Ross and Rachel.
Oh yeah, we always want to watch more of that.
We like, are they gonna get together? But with regard to the friendships, I felt like, and the same with Friends. I think, you see some of these shows that have gone on and done so well. I think it's also because of the chemistry and the friendships that took place on those shows. People want that. Don't you want like real friends who you could really be yourself with, and not people that are shutting you down and, oh, you're too loud or quiet, or always, how many of you have had those girlfriends who just always shoot you down?
Yeah.
And put you down in front of other people.
Right. Make you look bad.
Make you look like an idiot or a fool.
Yeah. It's like, why are you throwing me under the bus, girl?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? Are you for me or are you against me?
That's right. And if you have a friend like that, you may want to reevaluate, is that really a friend or is that a frenemy?
There's a word right there. A frenemy.
Right. And so I love this conversation. I love this topic. I think it's important as women to be the girl that's a safe, trusted person who I love you and I want the very best for you. And sometimes that's me telling you things like what you're saying, like, oh, calling things out. And then it's also celebrating the wonderful things that it's like, oh my gosh, Yvette, I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Yes.
Instead of feeling threatened and just like, oh, well, what, because.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So as we're talking about that, were you not just featured in a magazine?
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw that when that came up and I was like, yes.
Aww.
Okay. And I didn't even have to read what it was about at the moment. It's an instant Yes. Applaud.
Yeah.
You deserve that. And then you read it, you know?
Yeah.
But that initial thing should be
a celebration
happiness and celebration for your friend. We should not, and a lot of this happens in social media, where, you know, you think you have friends and they might be liking or loving your things. But then you hear a little something that another one of your friends tells you about a conversation that might have been had about this post that you put up there.
Oh.
And this goes for a family too.
Sure.
But a lot of it is with girlfriends, you know, don't believe everything you see on social media, first of all. Don't let it get you and cut you so deeply inside that you now don't even want to be friends with this person because of maybe something that they're doing professionally. Yeah. Maybe something that, you know, you and I are creatives. We're always doing things. Do not compare yourself to people that you see on social media or even people in real life. I don't compare myself to her. No. I don't want to compare myself to her. She's got way more going on than I do. No. But
it's true. It's true. I always hear that term, comparison kills.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like one of the times in my life where I became so despondent and discouraged and depressed was when I started comparing what I had compared to what others had. Yeah. And I'm like, well, they have a house, they're married, they have a family. I don't have this. I'm in a room for rent. I'm in a, you know, and now that was years ago, like 2005-ish, 2004, 20 years ago-ish, but comparison killed. Yeah. And it brought me so low. And I was so like almost disgusted with my life. Because I didn't have what the Jones had.
What everybody else has.
No.
Yeah. And for those young people that might be listening and watching, I just want to encourage you, please don't do that to yourself in any way, shape, or form. Because let me tell you, a lot of young people today are comparing themselves to their parents. Yeah. And to their parents' friends who have, been playing the game for 40, 50 years before you. There is no way that you can compare yourself to those people and expect to have the things that they have.
Yeah, the finances, the stability,
it's hurting people. And when you get hurt like that, depression can set in. And we all know how bad depression can be. Yeah. So, you know, you just don't want to do that. It really does. It really does kill your soul, your spirit. Everybody has a different story. Yes. Right? Everybody has a different season for those things.
Yes, that's true.
Because listen, I didn't get married till I was 43 or 44 years old. You know? Yeah. And my friends tell me all the time, I would have thought you would have been the first one to get married, the first one to have a kid. And I was the last one. Yeah. You know, I was the last one to get married. Everybody had already been married and you know, had kids and it just, your seasons are different.
That's
so
right.
Be you.
Yes. Don't envy and compare to your friends and be jealous. But, you know, like if and when, for example, you know, being the oldest, but my baby sister got married first and I was so thrilled about it. Like the entire thing, there was never a part of me that was ever jealous or like, why is she getting like, I'm like, I was so happy for her, for our family, for my brother-in-law, like, you know.
Yeah. It's not always about the timelines that this world has put on us.
That's right.
We're supposed to, you know, go to school, go to college, get married, buy a house, have 1.1 kids, you know, or whatever it is. Don't put those timelines on yourself.
And she's owned a home and I've never owned a home. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just sit. Now, the time when I was going through all of that other stuff, that had nothing to do with her. I don't even know if she was married at that time. It was more all the people around me when I was looking. And I was just looking at women my age. Yeah. And I was comparing myself to that, you know, but we really should rejoice and celebrate when our girlfriends and people like that we love wonderful things are happening to them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It really builds us. And that's kind of what we want to, you know, encourage you with too, is just having that, you know, maybe intimate circle of friends that really speak that wisdom into you and really root for you.
Yes.
And are happy for you.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any of that, talking behind your back or any of that. We should just love on each other.
Yeah.
And just be girlfriends, because that's what the word is. We're girlfriends.
We're girlfriends. That's
we're
right.
friends.
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
A friend loves at all times.
Right.
And that's, the good, the bad, the victories. It's like at all times.
Yeah.
And so that's the friends that we need. Those are the girlfriends that we need, and the ones that love it all.
Yeah.
Times.
And there are so many things that we go through in the book. So many different stories that you'll read about, that you'll hear about, different friendships. Some, Julia Roberts.
Yep.
The baseball scene, with her best friend,
my best friend's
she's
wedding.
still chest bumping her husband and all that.
Girl, come on.
Stop. That is not
like now. Stop now.
That's not being a good friend.
No.
Don't touch your girlfriend's husband. Okay.
That's right. And certainly not the chest bumping.
What are you, 12? I don't even understand.
If you did that when you're 12, I'm going to tell you that the chest bumping is different when you're 30. Okay.
For some people more than others. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah.
So good. Well, fun.
I think this was a good topic.
Yes.
Guys, what do you guys think about this topic? If you guys have any great girlfriend stories,
let us know.
Share them with us. We love hearing about some of these stories. Hopefully, encouraging stories.
Yes,
more than the other, but
we're open to them all. And and when you do email us at don'tbethisgirl@gmail.com. We do want to hear your stories and anything else. There might be just a certain topic that you're saying, you know what, I've heard the book, or I've read the book, I've heard a few podcasts, but I would really love to hear them talk about this.
Yeah.
So let us know. We want to know, but we do hope you did enjoy your time with us today on this podcast. And we're just excited right now. We are on Spotify and Apple and YouTube.
Yes.
So that is great news.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That is exciting. Yeah, the Apple and Spotify just as of within the last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an offshoot from a former podcast that I was a part of. And in talking to my former co-host, she was like, please, keep running with it. She was so thrilled. See,
that's a good girlfriend.
She was so thrilled. She goes, I want to just support you and say, yes, please do that. And I'm so excited that you can continue to build on that.
Instead of, no, go start your own
podcast.
Right. That's ours, even though we don't do it anymore.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So shout out to you, Diana Hogue.
Yes. We love you, Diana.
We love you, Diana. Well, and we love you guys too. Thanks so much for tuning in with us, whether it was on video or audio. And then just continue to be on the lookout, share, subscribe, follow,
hit the notification bell,
all of the
above.
Things. And then don't forget to go to Amazon, go to books and do a search for Don't Beat This Girl, and go ahead and start a book club with your friends. And we want to hear all about it. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Let's see. What do we got coming up next week?
Oh, I'm excited. So next week, we're going to be talking about the whole interracial dating. And so we're actually still staying on the Kenya topic.
We're staying on the Kenya and
Brian, who just so boldly came out and just said, I take it you don't do white guys.
Yeah.
Loved that.
Can't wait for that. That's going to be a good episode because he is a very bold white man who was not afraid to speak his mind.
That's right. And we loved Brian so much. And we loved what we saw him do in the transformation of Kenya. So so subscribe and follow so you can join us next podcast on Don't Be This Girl. All right, guys, have a great week. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.